The champagne towers catch the afternoon light streaming through the Greenwich Country Club windows, each glass reflecting fractured rainbows across white tablecloths. 80 guests in formal attire fill the ballroom, their conversation a steady hum beneath the string quartet's movements. I sit at the edge of the head table, fork poised over untouched lobster, watching my father rise from his chair. Richard Brooks commands attention without effort. Silver hair perfectly styled, custom tuxedo fitting his frame like armor. He raises his crystal flute, and the room quiets. 35 years ago, I married my beautiful Eleanor, he begins, his voice carrying that practiced warmth he uses for investors. Today, we celebrate not just our marriage, but the future of the Brooks legacy. My mother beams beside him, her pearl necklace catching the light. I've seen that expression before. It's the one she wears when she's gotten exactly what she wants. It gives me tremendous pride, my father continues, to announce that I'm transferring the complete Brooks Luxury Retreats portfolio to my son, Preston. $15 million in premium properties, managed by the man who truly understands the family vision. The applause erupts. Preston stands, smirking in his tailored suit, accepting handshakes and backslaps. Blair Montgomery materializes at his side, planting a kiss on his cheek that lingers just long enough for the society photographer to capture. I place my fork down. The metallic clink cuts through the applause like a scalpel. That's an incredibly generous gift, Richard. My voice comes out steady, almost conversational. But legally, you cannot give away property you haven't owned since October 2021. The room doesn't just fall quiet, it freezes. Preston's face drains of color, his smirk collapsing into something raw and exposed. My mother's gasp is audible, even from the back tables. My father's hand tightens around his champagne flute until his knuckles turn white. I meet his eyes across the table. Gray eyes, just like mine. The ones that supposedly see through everything. They never saw me coming. But that moment comes later. Right now, I need to rewind. Show you exactly how we arrived at this perfect crystallization of consequences. 48 hours earlier, I'm buckling my seatbelt in first class, watching Chicago disappear beneath the clouds. The flight attendant offers champagne. I decline. My phone buzzes with Preston's latest text, the third this week. Can't wait to see you, sis. Big news to share. The private car service drops me at the estate just after 3. The November air bites through my cashmere coat as I approach the front door. I don't knock. Instead, I reach into my bag and pull out the old brass key, the one they think I lost years ago when I moved to Chicago. The door opens silently. Inside, their voices drift from my father's study. Laughter, the kind that comes easy when you think you're untouchable. I move down the hallway, my heels silent on the Persian runner. The study door sits slightly ajar, warm light spilling through the gap. I press myself against the wall, phone already recording in my coat pocket. Last month, I funneled another $50,000 to BM Interiors for consultation fees. Preston's voice carries that particular smugness he reserves for his victories. Bought Blair a 3-carat diamond. She posted it all over Instagram. My father's laugh booms. The audit this weekend is pure formality. Savannah's desperate for our approval. Always has been. I'll cry. My mother's voice is lighter, almost playful. She'll sign anything if I cry enough. She always does. A fourth voice joins them. Male, unfamiliar, nervous. Once she signs the beneficiary waiver, you're protected. No ownership claim means no legal standing to question the transfers. My hand finds the doorframe. The wood feels solid under my palm, real, while everything else tilts sideways. My stomach clenches, not from shock but from the brutal clarity of confirmation. They're not just favoring Preston, they're actively conspiring to rob me. The nausea hits in waves. I've spent 29 years trying to earn their love through competence, through being the responsible one, the reliable one. Every late night studying, while Preston partied. Every promotion I downplayed so he wouldn't feel inadequate. Every family photo I stepped out of because my presence somehow diminished him. I was 14 when they blamed me for Preston's failing grades because I didn't tutor him enough. 22 when they excluded me from the family Christmas card because my recent promotion made Preston feel small. And now they're betting their entire fraud scheme on my pathological need for their approval. The instinct to burst through that door and scream is almost physical. To throw their betrayal in their faces, to make them see me, really see me for once. But I don't. Instead, I turn and walk back down the hallway, each step deliberate. The door closes behind me with a soft click. In the car, my hands shake as I pull out my phone and text Wyatt. I'm here. Meet me at the diner. I catch my reflection in the window as the driver pulls away. My face looks exactly the same as it did this morning. Composed, professional, the good daughter. But something fundamental has shifted behind my eyes. They placed their bet on the wrong daughter. And now I'm going to show them exactly what a forensic auditor does when she finds fraud in the family books. The diner sits 3 miles from the estate, one of those roadside places that still serves meatloaf and has actual Formica tables. I slide into the corner booth at 9:30, my back to the wall, facing the door. Old habits from audit work. Always see who's coming. Wyatt arrives 12 minutes later, wire-rimmed glasses slightly fogged from the November cold. He's carrying a manila envelope, the kind with the metal clasp that makes a satisfying snap when you open it. He doesn't waste time with pleasantries. 4 years, he says, sliding the envelope across the table. I've been documenting everything. I don't open it immediately. Instead, I study my youngest brother, HD student, perpetually nervous energy that makes him tap his fingers against table edges. The family forgets about Wyatt. He's quiet, unremarkable, beneath their notice. That oversight was their fatal mistake. Show me, I say. He pulls out the first document. Bank of Greenwich letterhead, formal typography, the weight of legal consequence in every word. Notice of default, addressed to Richard and Eleanor Brooks. I scan the numbers. My training takes over, that particular focus that narrows the world to data points and patterns. Preston hasn't just been skimming rental income. He's drained the operating accounts dry. $800,000, Wyatt says. Transferred to BM. Interiors over 18 months. I do the math, automatically. $50,000 per month, give or take. The properties generate $1,200,000 annually. The books show $200,000 in losses. There's no legitimate consulting work, I say. It's not a question. None. I checked every invoice. Blair's company has no employees, no projects, no office space. It exists solely as a pass-through for Preston's theft. The coffee in front of me has gone cold. I take a sip anyway, needing something to ground me in the physical world while my mind processes the scope of the fraud. Wyatt pulls out a second document. His hands shake slightly as he unfolds it. Personal guarantee, he says. Richard and Eleanor used the Greenwich mansion as collateral for a $3 million business line of credit. The words hit differently than I expected. Not a shock, just the hollow confirmation of how deep they've buried themselves. The money went to cover Preston's embezzlement. Wyatt continues. The bank wants either a capital injection or clear title confirmation by Monday. If you don't sign the waiver of interest, they seize the parents' home. I look up from the document. They bet everything on me being compliant. Yes. He slides a flash drive across the table. Spreadsheets showing systematic fraud. I've tracked every transfer, every false invoice, every manipulation of the books. It's all here. I pocket the drive without looking at it. My fingers find the edge of the manila envelope tracing the metal clasp. What else? Text messages between Preston and Blair, discussing how to keep you in the dark, laughing about it, actually. His voice carries an edge I've never heard before. There's one from 3 weeks ago, Preston wrote. Once the fraud is buried in the trust transfer, she'll never untangle it. Too much family loyalty to look too hard. Family loyalty. The phrase sits bitter on my tongue. I've spent my entire adult life believing that loyalty meant something. That blood created obligations, responsibilities, bonds that transcended balance sheets and legal documents. They were counting on that belief to steal from me. They chose this, I say quietly. The realization settles into my bones, replacing the last remnants of confusion with perfect clarity. Every single step. This wasn't neglect or favoritism or blind spots. They actively chose fraud. But I'm salivated. Wyatt nods. Should we warn them? Give them a chance to fix it? The question hangs between us. I can see the scenario play out. I could call Richard right now, lay out the evidence, and offer them 48 hours to make it right. Return the money, fire Preston, apologize. They would find another way to cheat. No, I say. If we warn them, they'll just adapt. Find a new scheme, a new angle. We let the trap spring exactly as they designed it. The party on Sunday, Wyatt says. Perfect venue. Preston's already planning his victory lap. Let him celebrate publicly. I pull out my phone, opening the camera app. I need to photograph everything in that envelope. Every document, every text message, every spreadsheet. Then I need 3 copies stored in 3 different locations. He watches me work, the flash illuminating each page briefly before I move to the next. The notice of default, the personal guarantee, the shell company registration documents showing Blair's signature creating B.M. Interiors with zero business infrastructure. I have a forensic accounting mentor at the firm. I say, still photographing. She has contacts at the FBI Financial Crimes Unit. I'll reach out tomorrow morning. And this weekend? You act normal. Play along. Preston expects you to be intimidated by him. Eleanor expects you to be invisible. Give them exactly what they expect. I finish with the documents and hand the envelope back. Wyatt stares at it like it might bite. This destroys them, he says. Completely. They destroyed themselves. I'm just documenting the aftermath. The waitress appears with a coffee pot. We both decline. After she leaves, Wyatt leans forward, voice dropping lower. Are you sure about this? I meet his eyes. Gray, like mine, like our father's. The genetic inheritance that supposedly gave us his vision, his business acumen, his ability to see through complexity. Richard Brooks taught me to trust evidence over emotion, to value competence over sentiment, to believe that truth lived in documentation, not promises. He just never imagined I'd apply those lessons to him. I've never been more sure about anything, I say. After I spent the night at the hotel nearby, the Saturday morning light filters through the leaded glass windows as I stand on the front steps of the estate, my single piece of luggage heavy in my hand. The brass knocker gleams under my fingers. I could use my key again, slip in unnoticed like yesterday. But that's not the play today. Today, I'm the dutiful daughter coming home. The door swings open before I can knock. My mother stands there in cream linen, pearls already in place despite the early hour. Her face transforms into practiced delight. Oh, darling, we've missed you. She pulls me into a hug that smells like Chanel, No, 5, and desperation. Her arms squeeze just a fraction too tight, her voice pitched just a note too high. Everything about Eleanor Brooks is a performance, and I've finally learned to read the stage directions. Inside, Preston sprawls on the leather sofa in the living room, phone angled to catch the best light. He doesn't look up. Hey, Sav. The greeting comes automatically, dismissive. I'm furniture that occasionally requires acknowledgement. My father rustles his newspaper from the wingback chair. Savannah. A grunt. An exhale. The minimal acknowledgement of my existence is complete. He returns to the financial section. The house smells like fresh coffee and old money. Persian rugs muffle my footsteps as I follow my mother's chattering monologue about the party tomorrow, about how wonderful it will be to have the family together, about how Preston has been working so hard on the properties. I make appropriate sounds, smile at appropriate moments. My training runs deep. My mother corners me in the kitchen 90 minutes later while I'm rinsing my coffee cup. The timing isn't accidental. She calculated this moment, waited until Preston disappeared upstairs, and my father retreated to his study. The kitchen has always been her preferred arena for emotional manipulation. Something about the domestic setting makes her tears more effective. Savannah, sweetheart. Her voice drops to that trembling register I know too well. I need to talk to you about something important. I turn slowly, deliberately, keep my face neutral. What's wrong, Mom? The tears start immediately, not dramatic sobbing, but the gentle kind that slides down her cheeks like she's trying to hold them back. She's perfected this technique over decades. I've watched her deploy it at charity luncheons, PTA meetings, family interventions. The weapons may look soft, but they're designed to cut deep. The business is struggling. Her hands twist together, diamond wedding band catching the light. Preston's been under so much stress. He's trying so hard, but the market has been difficult, and your father's health isn't what it used to be. My father played 18 holes yesterday. I saw the scorecard on his desk. The family legacy is at risk, darling. She steps closer, one hand reaching for mine. We need to modernize. Make some changes. Preston has such innovative ideas, but he needs support. He needs family unity. The words flow like a script she's rehearsed. Each phrase is designed to activate my guilt reflexes, to remind me of my position in the family hierarchy. Your grandmother would want us united. Her voice breaks perfectly on the word, grandmother. You're the responsible one, Savannah. You've always been so capable, so strong. Help your brother succeed. After everything we've sacrificed for your education, for your opportunities. Something flickers in my chest. Old wiring trying to fire. For one split second, watching my mother's tears slide down her carefully made-up face, I feel my hands start to shake. Maybe there's a peaceful solution. Maybe if I just talk to Preston, set up proper oversight, created accountability systems. I'm good at systems. Maybe I could fix this without destroying everything. The thought comes unbidden, unwanted. A childhood memory surfaces like oil on water. I'm 12 years old, holding my acceptance letter to the gifted program. My mother's face crumples when she reads it, tears streaming. You're making your brother feel small. Can't you just be happy quietly? Does everything have to be about you? I'd apologized, declined the program, spent the next 6 years in regular classes while Preston failed upward through private tutors and grade adjustments. My hands shake harder now, the coffee cup rattling slightly against the granite counter. My mother sees it, her eyes sharpen with something that might be triumph. The kitchen door swings open. Wyatt enters, glasses slightly crooked, reaching for a water glass from the cabinet. His timing is too perfect to be accidental. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. He fills his glass slowly, taking his time. His eyes meet mine in the reflection of the window above the sink. Then he shifts, the phone screen angled just enough for me to see. The text message glows blue against black. Eleanor to Preston. I will wear her down. She's weak. Start drafting the waiver. Preston's reply. Perfect. Knew the tears would work. The shaking stops. Everything stops. The emotional bond doesn't fray or crack. It snaps. Clean. Surgical. Complete. I look at my mother, and I don't see my mother anymore. I see a hostile oddity, a subject of investigation, an individual engaged in active fraud who's currently attempting to manipulate the auditor assigned to her case. The manipulation isn't unconscious. It's not a mother's misguided love or outdated values. It's a calculated strategy, premeditated, coordinated. The final remnant of hope dies so quietly, I barely notice its passing. Everyone. My posture shifts, shoulders roll back, spine straightens. The trembling in my hands evaporates like it was never there. When I meet my mother's eyes, I'm looking at her the way I look at falsified balance sheets and cooked books. This is a business problem requiring a business solution. I need time to think. The words come out measured, each one placed with precision. This is overwhelming. My mother's face floods with relief. She thinks the tears worked. She thinks I'm breaking. Of course, darling. Take all the time you need. She reaches for me again, and I let her hug me. Let her think she's won. Let's talk at dinner tonight, I say into her shoulder. I want to do what's right for the family. She pulls back, cupping my face in her hands. Her smile is radiant, genuine in its relief. That's my good girl. The words that used to fill me with warmth now sound like prison bars closing. I'm nobody's good girl anymore. Later, I'm unpacking in the guest room when Wyatt appears in the doorway. He closes the door quietly behind him, then holds up his phone again. This time it's Preston's calendar application. Sunday, 8 p.m., Victory dinner reservation. Table for 4 at Le Bernardin. They're already planning the celebration for after I sign. Already booking tables, already counting their victory. I feel my mouth curve into something that might technically be a smile. But there's no warmth in it, just ice and certainty. Let them plan, I say quietly. Let them hope. After Wyatt leaves, I lock the guest room door. The briefcase sits on the bed where I left it, black leather gleaming in the afternoon light. I pop the latches. They click open with satisfying finality. Inside, everything is precisely organized. The courier service delivered the final package to the servants' entrance at 6 a.m., just as I arranged. Certified deeds from Fairfield County Land Records, each page bearing official seals and signatures. The forensic audit report, 247 pages bound in navy covers, every transaction documented and cross-referenced. The FBI contact card sits on top. Special Agent Martinez, Financial Crimes Unit. I've already spoken with him twice. He knows what's coming tomorrow. And underneath everything, a cream-colored envelope. My grandmother's handwriting across the front. For Savannah. I open it carefully. Inside, a single page, dated November 2021, 2 weeks before she died. My dearest Savannah, if you're reading this, you're ready. You've always had the strength. You just needed permission to use it. Don't let them make you small. The papers are your armor. The truth is your weapon. Trust your strength. All my love, Nana Eloise. I touch her signature. The ink slightly faded now, but still firm. Still certain. I'm ready. I whisper to the empty room. Tomorrow they'll learn exactly what happens when you bet against the competent daughter. The formal dining room feels smaller tonight, despite its vaulted ceilings and expansive mahogany table. Saturday evening light filters through the tall windows, casting long shadows across the silver place settings. I force myself to slump in my chair, shoulders curving inward like a question mark. Eleanor has outdone herself. Prime rib, roasted fingerling potatoes, some kind of glazed carrots, I'm pretending to push around my plate. The china is the good set, the one she only uses for important occasions. Tonight qualifies, apparently. My impending defeat warrants celebration. I pick at the meat, cut it into smaller and smaller pieces, without actually eating much. My eyes feel scratchy. I rubbed them deliberately before coming downstairs, made sure they looked red and tired. The exhaustion isn't entirely manufactured. Maintaining this performance takes more energy than I expected. Savannah, darling, you've barely touched your dinner. My mother's voice drips with concern. She reaches across the table, her hand hovering near mine. Are you feeling all right? I set down my fork. The clink against china sounds too loud in the sudden quiet. I'm tired. The words come out flat, defeated. So tired of being the outsider. Of always fighting. Of never being enough. Preston pauses mid-chew. Richard lowers his wineglass slowly, watching me with those calculating gray eyes. Eleanor's hand finally lands on mine, squeezing gently. Her skin feels cool, her grip firm. I let my gaze drift around the table, landing on each of them in turn before settling on Preston. His smirk has faded into something cautious, almost suspicious. Good. Let him wonder if I'm genuine or broken. You win, Preston. I meet his eyes directly. I'll sign the waiver. The reaction is immediate. Eleanor gasps, her hand tightening around mine until the pressure borders on painful. Oh, sweetheart. You don't know how much this means to us. To the family. Richard nods, his expression shifting into something that might pass for approval in better lighting. That's a mature decision, Savannah. Very mature. This is what's best for everyone. Preston's smirk returns, spreading across his face like oil on water. I knew you'd see the reason eventually. You always were the smart one. He lifts his wine glass in a mock toast. To family unity. I don't raise my glass. Instead, I lean forward slightly, my voice dropping to something quieter, more careful. But I want to do this properly. Tomorrow at the anniversary party, in front of everyone, a public show of unity. I pause, letting the words settle. Then I'll go back to Chicago, and we can all move forward. Clean slate. The table goes still. I can almost hear the gears turning in Preston's head, the calculations running behind his eyes. Public validation, witnesses to his victory, the perfect stage for his triumph. That's perfect. His voice rises with enthusiasm. Absolutely perfect. Nothing says family solidarity like a public announcement at Mom and Dad's anniversary celebration. Richard's smile widens. It'll show everyone that the Brooks family stands together. Good optics for the business transition. Eleanor squeezes my hand again, her eyes glistening with what might be genuine emotion if I didn't know better. This is all I've ever wanted, my children united. I manage a small smile. It feels tight on my face, like wearing someone else's skin. Preston pulls out his phone before dessert even arrives. His thumbs fly across the screen, typing rapidly. I need to text Melissa. Expand the guest list. This deserves a bigger audience. How much bigger? Richard asks. Double it. Maybe more. I want investors there. That tech startup founder from Stanford, the Hendersons. Maybe even reach out to the local business reporter from the Gazette. Preston's excitement builds with each name. This is a watershed moment for Brooks Luxury Retreats. Richard reaches for the wine list, the server left on the sideboard. He flips through it, running his finger down the pages until he finds what he wants. We'll need proper champagne for the toast. The Cristal. $2,000 a bottle, but worth it for this occasion. My mother has already pulled out her own phone, scrolling through what looks like a seating chart. I'll need to rearrange everything. Put Savannah at the head table, of course. Right between Preston and your father. Very visible. Very unified. I watch them plan my humiliation like it's a wedding. The irony isn't lost on me. Preston looks up from his phone, his expression almost gleeful. Blair's on her way over. She'll want to help plan. Maybe coordinate something on social media. Family reconciliation plays really well with the lifestyle influencer crowd. My phone buzzes in my lap. I glance down casually. Wyatt's text is brief. Holding steady? I don't respond. Not yet. Instead, I excuse myself from the table, citing exhaustion. Eleanor stands to hug me, pulling me close. Her perfume used to make me feel safe. Now I am disgusted. I'm so proud of you, she whispers against my hair. This is the right thing. You'll see. I step back from the embrace. My eyes are completely dry. I check my watch. 8:47. The information files itself away automatically. Good night, I say to the room. Big day tomorrow. As I climb the stairs, I hear Preston's voice drift up from the dining room. She actually bought it. Can you believe it? Told you the guilt trip would work. Richard's response is muffled, but the tone is celebratory. Wine glasses clink. Someone laughs. I close the guest room door behind me and lean against it for a moment, letting the mask slip. My face relaxes into neutral, the careful exhaustion evaporating. 11 o'clock finds me sitting on the bed, briefcase open beside me, the contents spread across the cream-colored comforter in careful order. Certified deeds from Fairfield County Land Records. Official seals pressed into heavy paper. The forensic audit report, 247 pages bound in black, spine reading, Brooks Luxury Retreats LLC, comprehensive fraud analysis. The FBI contact card sits on top. Special Agent Martinez, Financial Crimes Unit. I've already spoken with him twice. He knows what's coming tomorrow. The envelope with the capacity affidavit video drive feels heavier than it should. I turn it over in my hands, seeing Nana Eloise's handwriting on the label. Her final insurance policy. Her gift to me. I rehearse the timeline mentally. Richard's toast at 8:15. My interruption at 8:16. The deeds first, then the video. The audit report last, for maximum impact. The FBI submission confirmation as the final blow. My phone alarm is already set for 6 tomorrow morning. The escape bag sits packed in the closet. I won't be staying after the party. No tearful goodbyes. No second chances for them to manipulate me. I open my laptop and verify the backup locations one final time. 3 separate encrypted cloud storage accounts. The evidence exists in multiple places now, beyond their reach. Downstairs, I hear the front door open. Blair's voice carries up the stairs, bright and excited. More celebration. More champagne. More planning for my public defeat. My phone lights up with Preston's drunk text to someone named Jason. Inheritance secured. Looking at yachts tomorrow. The 50-footer we saw in Newport? Another text, this time to a luxury car dealer. Still have that Aston Martin? Might be interested next week. Blair posts an Instagram story. I don't follow her, but Wyatt screenshots it and sends it to me. Champagne glasses, emoji celebrations, text reading, big family announcement tomorrow. I screenshot Preston's texts and add them to the evidence folder. Every piece of hubris documented, every moment of overconfidence preserved. None of them sleep tonight. Too excited, too certain of victory. I sleep perfectly. 8 hours, dreamless, and deep. Tomorrow, they'll understand the difference between confidence and competence. Tomorrow, the trap closes. Back to the present moment. I say, you can't give away what isn't yours. The room doesn't just fall quiet, it freezes. I stand, my movements deliberate, and reach for my briefcase. The leather feels cool under my fingertips. I've rehearsed this moment 100 times, but my hands are steady now. No trembling. No doubt. The certified deeds hit the head table with a satisfying thud. Grandma transferred the Brooks Luxury Retreats portfolio to the Eloise Trust in October 2021. My voice carries to every corner of the ballroom, clear and cold. I am the sole trustee. Preston, you are an employee with zero equity. Preston's face drains of color. My father's champagne flute tilts in his hand, amber liquid sloshing dangerously close to the rim. That's impossible, Richard stammers. His polished composure cracks like cheap porcelain. Those properties are mine. They've always been. Fairfield County Clerk's Office, instrument number 2021 to 874. I flip open the top deed, revealing the county seal and official stamps. Public record. Anyone can verify it. My mother grips the table edge. She manipulated her. Nana Eloise wasn't in her right mind. She was confused, vulnerable. Actually, Wyatt's voice cuts through from behind me. She was remarkably lucid. He steps forward with his laptop. I catch the eye of the AV technician in the corner, the one I tipped $200 an hour ago. He nods and switches the input. Wyatt connects his cable, and the projector hums to life immediately. My father moves to stop him, but security hired for the event steps subtly into position. I made those arrangements this morning. The screen flickers. Nana Eloise's face appears sharp-eyed and alert despite her 78 years. Mr. Vance, the family attorney, sits beside her in the frame. The timestamp reads the 15th of October 2021. My name is Eloise Catherine Brooks. Her voice fills the ballroom, stronger than I remember. I am 78 years old, and I am of sound mind and body. Mr. Vance, my attorney of 32 years, is present as witness to my capacity. The guests lean forward. I watch my mother's face crumble as Nana continues. I am transferring all properties held in the Brooks Luxury Retreats portfolio to a trust with my granddaughter Savannah as sole trustee. I'm doing this because Richard has always valued appearance over character, and Preston has inherited his father's worst qualities. She pauses, looking directly into the camera. Savannah earned this through competence, not blood. The video ends. The lawyer certification and witness signatures remain frozen on screen, undeniable and legally airtight. Eleanor collapses into her chair. The sound of expensive fabric hitting wood echoes through the silence. I reach into my briefcase again. The forensic audit is heavier than the deeds. 247 pages bound in navy covers. I drop it beside the deeds. Since Preston never owned the properties, the $800,000 transferred to BM. Interiors wasn't profit distribution. I flipped to the highlighted sections, years of training making my movements precise. It was wire fraud and money laundering. Blair's champagne glass slips from her fingers, shattering against the marble floor. These pages detail the shell company analysis. I turn the report so the nearby guests can see the charts and transaction records. False invoicing. Systematic embezzlement over 18 months. Blair signed every document, opened every account, made every withdrawal. Preston finds his voice. You're lying. You're just bitter that Dad finally recognized my... I submitted this to the FBI Financial Crimes Unit. I check my watch. The small motion feels monumental. Your business accounts were frozen 45 minutes ago. Preston fumbles for his phone. His thumb swipes frantically across the screen. I watch the color drain further from his face as he sees them. 17 missed calls. The notification banner glows across the top. Account access restricted. Federal hold. My father's phone buzzes. Then again. He reads the screen, and for the first time in my life, I see genuine fear in his eyes. Personal guarantee triggered due to fraud investigation, he whispers. His voice barely carries. Notice of immediate loan recall. Legal proceedings initiated. The mansion. The collateral for the $3 million business line of credit they used to cover Preston's theft. All of it. Gone. Blair stands so fast her chair topples backward. I didn't know. Preston said it was legitimate consulting work. I just signed what he... Her voice breaks. She grabs her clutch and runs, heels clicking frantically across marble. Preston calls after her, but she's already gone, probably calling a lawyer of her own. You destroyed us. Preston lunges across the table. His hands reach for my throat, but security catches him before he makes contact. 2 men in dark suits restrain him as he struggles. I'm your brother. How could you? You stole from your family. I meet his eyes without blinking. I simply documented it. They drag him toward the exit. His screams echo off the crystal chandeliers. Threats, curses, promises of revenge that mean nothing now. The reporter's pen moves frantically across her notepad. The investors Richard invited to witness his management transition back away, creating distance from the liability. Wyatt stands beside me, silent and solid. I turn to face the remaining guests. The party's over. Please enjoy the champagne on your way out. They leave in clusters, whispers spreading like wildfire. Within minutes, only scattered champagne flutes and abandoned plates remain. Richard and Eleanor huddle together at the far end of the table, her pearl necklace askew, his perfect silver hair disheveled. I walk to the bar and select a single champagne glass. Crystal, expensive, paid for with money they thought they'd stolen. I raise it to the empty ballroom, to the scattered legal documents covering the head table, to the grandmother, who saw this moment coming 3 years ago. Competence. The word hangs in the air as the last guests disappear through the double doors, leaving only wreckage behind. 3 months later, February sunlight floods my Chicago penthouse through floor-to-ceiling windows. The city sprawls below, chrome and glass catching the winter light. Soft jazz plays from hidden speakers. My coffee steams beside a stack of forensic audit files, the silence so complete it feels deliberate. No country club chaos. No performative family dinners. Just work, and peace, and the satisfaction of competence. My phone buzzes. Wyatt's name appears on the screen. Come up, I tell the doorman through the intercom. Send him straight to the penthouse. He arrives 10 minutes later, carrying 2 pastry boxes from the bakery downstairs. His wire-rimmed glasses catch the light as he grins. Figured you'd be working through lunch. Guilty. I clear space on the balcony table, pushing aside case files. How's the PhD? Fully funded now. He settles into the chair across from me, opening the boxes to reveal croissants and Danish pastries. Turns out legitimate rental portfolio profits make excellent educational investments. I'm specializing in forensic accounting. I wonder who inspired that. Can't imagine. His smile softens. Do you ever regret it? The question doesn't surprise me. I've asked myself the same thing exactly twice in 3 months. Both times, the answer came instantly. Not even for a second. We sit in comfortable silence, coffee cooling between us. No weight of family expectations pressing down. No measuring our words against what Preston might overhear, what mother might weaponize, what father might dismiss. Just 2 people who survived the same war, drinking coffee on a Tuesday morning. Later, after Wyatt leaves for his afternoon seminar, I pull out my checkbook. The Nana Eloise Scholarship Fund letter sits beside my laptop, 3 handwritten thank you notes paper-clipped to the top. First-generation college students studying accounting. Kids who understand what it means to be competent in families that value something else entirely. I write the check carefully. $50,000. My grandmother's legacy, helping others escape the traps she recognized too late in her own son. The business thrives without Preston's embezzlement, bleeding it dry. Revenue up 40% under professional management. Properties renovated, properly marketed, legally compliant. I renamed it last month. Eloise Trust Properties has a better ring than Brooks Luxury Retreats ever did. My consulting firm expanded twice since September. Other scapegoat children find me through referrals, their stories variations on the same theme. Golden child steals, competent child gets blamed, family chooses the thief. I use my story anonymously in consultations, watching recognition dawn in their eyes. You're not crazy. You're not ungrateful. You're being robbed. The facts are simple. Preston got 3 years in federal prison for wire fraud and money laundering. Minimum security, but still prison. Blair avoided jail through cooperation, but B.M. Interiors dissolved and her reputation evaporated. She works retail now, paying legal fees with what's left after restitution. The 3-carat diamond sold at auction. Richard and Eleanor live in a cramped 2-bedroom rental in Stamford. The bank seized everything. The mansion was sold to a tech executive from California, who gutted the interior immediately. Mother called twice. I changed my number. Father sent a letter. I returned it unopened. That evening, I stand on the balcony with wine, watching twilight paint the skyline in shades of amber and violet. My tablet rests on the railing. Journal entry visible. Paper beats promises. Evidence beats emotion. Competence beats connection. No anxious thoughts spiral through my mind about whether I should have tried harder, been softer, given them one more chance. My phone rings. Unknown number. Greenwich area code. I silence it without checking. Don't even wonder who it was. The city lights begin their nightly emergence, pinpricks of brightness against gathering darkness. I raise my glass to the skyline, to the life I built from the ashes of their betrayal. Nana Eloise's words from the video echo in my memory, her voice clear and certain. Never apologize for being the competent one. I whisper them back to the city, to myself, to whatever comes next. My briefcase sits closed on the dining table behind me, a label visible in the ambient light. Next case. Next. The screen fades to black.